People are the worst. I mean, what gives people the audacity to... Good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday. I'm just getting to the warehouse. I just dropped Jessica off at my mom's. She does stay there Wednesday nights to Thursday now, which is really nice. Yesterday I was here, and while I was listing in our employee break room, I made some notes because there's some things that we really have to get down, and we're gonna be talking about that in this video. One is our daily priorities. And the two main ones right here are shipping and listing. And in my opinion, those things have to be done first. We're gonna kind of go break down some math and go over how many listings we're doing now. Do we think we're going to increase that? If we do, when? And what everything looks like in terms of numbers. Right now, we are figuring out boxes because the 24 12 by 12s are okay, but they're actually a little big. We're gonna be going to like a magazine system of inventory so we can condense a lot easier and efficiently. But the 12 by 12s leave a lot of room in the boxes that we don't need, that we're not utilizing. So right now we're doing the math to figure out a better sized box, and we think we are going to go with a 24 8 by 8, so enough of our bags hang over the edge up on top so that we can actually see the sticker numbers when we move to that system. Couple of other random things is figuring out covering the doors, covering places where people can see inside. And it looks like Dean is doing that right now.
Hi, good morning. We have these scrap pieces of this composite board, so I'm just gonna slap those in the back. They're gonna be there loosely. You could still see through it if you really wanted to, but it should deter anyone. There's a lot of businesses around, so I'm not really worried about anyone breaking in here. And if they did, I doubt they would really know what to do with themselves. But we're gonna put them up. Someone did mention or made a comment that these won't fit, and you were right and I was wrong. I confidently said yes, they will fit. We measured, but we did end up measuring outside to outside, not inside to inside. However, it's actually a good thing because now we're going to be able to fit more. Like Melinda said, we're gonna go with the 24 8 by 8, so we'll be able to fit 5 of those in the inside because the measurements from here, from the inside to inside, is actually 46.5 inches. So if we go 5 times 8, that's 40 inches, and we'll still have some room. So that increases the total amount of boxes we can fit on this first set of racks to 405 boxes. And if we can fit a minimum of 10 per box, that's over 4,000 listings. But I think realistically we can fit anywhere from 10 to 15 per box, just depending on how thick or how large the item is. And then on the top, all the way on the top end, we're thinking about maybe that's where we put the bulky jackets and bulky items that don't fit in those 24 by 8 by 8 boxes. So we'll see. Melinda is pricing that out right now. Looks like there's a price break at 500 units from Uline and 1,000 units. So we're gonna get 1,000 boxes and then use the 405 initially and then save the other 600-ish boxes for the next round.
We're gonna start putting these things into those things. Show you a little bit of what's sold. We do start shipping like same day if it sells beforehand. So some of these are yesterday. We've already shipped a couple things that sold as well. This one is a Nike all over print. It's kind of got a camo type pattern. It sold for $22 plus they're gonna pay shipping, and that should get into a padded flat rate and ship for about $8.20 then. We have this new with tags. It's a Zara shirt. We just listed this very recently. 20 bucks, they pay ship, only have a few bucks into it. Pretty basic Nike golf polo, pretty steady sellers, nothing crazy. Took an offer of 13, they're gonna pay shipping on it. These Lulus were in a recent box that we priced out and listed. We had them listed for 30 plus shipping. They offered us 25, so of course we took that. Jean sale. This isn't a brand that we normally see, so if you haven't heard of it, it's G-Star. So keep your eye out for that. Sold for 25, and then they're gonna pay shipping on top of that as well. This sold on Porch yesterday. It sold for $35. It's a vintage Elton John t-shirt. We got this from a store buyout at the end of last year. It's double-sided. Had a couple offers on it. Happy to see it go. We are waiting for a locksmith. The door to the photography room was closed and it was locked accidentally, obviously, and there's no keys for it, so we're waiting on that. But we've been kind of piecing together stuff to do in the meantime. We hung up some more clothes in our pricing room. So we just heard from the lock guy. It's gonna be about 15 minutes. We did get to meet our neighbor from 2 doors down. He works for a coffee company, which is one of my favorite kind of companies. Really, really nice. He came over to let us know that we could use his cardboard and trash bins, you know, unless it was like overflowing, obviously, which was so nice. He took some pallets for us. We found out they do have a high-low, and he even offered to help us move some stuff into the loft if we ever get to that point. So really, really nice guy. Super happy to have met both of our neighbors now. Everybody seems very nice. Really happy to be here. Since we're still waiting on the lock person, I'm gonna go drop off the post and grab lunch. While I'm gone, Adina's gonna work on getting listings up. As we mentioned at the beginning of the video, that really needs to be top of the priority list of things to get done. Unfortunately, the charger to the photography phone is in the locked room, so everything has kind of gotten derailed today, but we're still gonna get it done, and we'll get it done before we go home. We'll check back in a little bit.
If I had known that we could just drill through the lock, it would have saved us like 110 bucks, but it is what it is. We got into the room. The nice thing is the gentleman that showed up, he went ahead and rekeyed all of our locks here. So now we just have one lock that's the same front and back, one key instead of 2. And now we're the only ones, with the exception of our landlord, who will obviously have access to our facility. Well, we are the only ones that have the keys to get in here, which is nice. I also worked just a little bit on the shoe inventory system. This is what I came up with so far. So we're going to go with dealing with Dalton's way. We're going to clip each shoe with a clothes hanger, and on the clothes hanger it's going to have a designated slot number and SKU number. So this is, for example, A101. The way we figure it is that we'll just go down by row. Why don't you come right this way? So what we're going to do is combine these 4 units or 4 sections at a time, so it's a little bit more sturdy. We're not sure yet if we're going to put them in the center or if we're going to leave them against this wall. It all depends on what happens after this set of racks. I just found out by looking at our neighbor's wall that there's no studs in this wall. It's just drywall all the way through, and then there's just the steel beams every like 20 feet or something like that. So I don't know if that drywall is going to be good enough. I might use toggle bolts at some point and anchor it that way. That's for another day. So we figured we'll just label them like aisles. So it'll be aisle A, B, and so on. So this first section here is going to be aisle A, and then it'll be levels, 1 through 11, I think is the highest. So it'll be A1, A2, A3, down to A11. And then all the way down, we can fit roughly 18 pieces. Just depends on the style. So it might, if it's a bunch of boots, it'll be, like 10. If it's a bunch of sandals, it'll be like 25. But on average, we can fit 20 per. And then we'll just clip each shoe. And then in a custom SKU of each shoe, we'll have that location. And then when we go picking, it should be a lot easier. So we'll probably do this in chunks instead of dedicating like an entire day of redoing the inventory.
People are the worst. I mean, what gives people the audacity to come up onto somebody's property and take their stuff? And you know what makes me so like sad about it? Like, I'm not even like super mad. I don't feel like rage or anything. I feel very let down by people when this happens, because that could have been a gift for our daughter's birthday. It could have been something we had saved for. And once things are shipped, like as sellers, we know if it arrives at our door and is marked as delivered, we wouldn't get that money back if it was something, we had actually purchased. And just for them not to think about that, or to think about that, that's even worse. That they're like, oh my God, they're gonna see it's gone and be like really upset. Like, what pieces of poo? So here's what happened. We come back from a day at work. day at the office, and we have some inventory boxes on our front porch. Everything it seems normal, everything is fine. La-di-da-di-da, we go on about our night, wake up in the morning, and as Adine's leaving to go to the office, he asks me if I've done something with these large 50-pound boxes. Nope. Are they there? Nope. Commence 4-letter words that we're not going to repeat on this family-friendly YouTube station. They're gone. The boxes are gone. 3 just enormous boxes of clothes. And it's just like, what are you going to do? Nothing. Not going to do anything. I mean, you file a police report. Okay, well, we didn't have a ring light camera. We have no photos of the person. What are they going to do? Okay, stolen off porch. That's it. So I'll let Dean tell you what he did, how he handled that with the suppliers.
So it was 3 boxes. They usually weigh between like 20 to 50 pounds a box for these like large, clothing boxes. And so whoever stole them, had some muscle because they're pretty big. I'm sitting in a very loose table, and it's kind of
waterbed.
Very nervous to hold this camera like this, but it's fine. So yeah, like Melinda said, I was walking out. I thought maybe Melinda already pre-packed them, and she's been taking steroids without me knowing. And I walk over and I just literally say the F-bomb, and I was like, I got to get to work because Emily's waiting for me anyways. Mm-hmm. And so I called the supplier and I was like, hey, this is what happened. I'm going to compensate you. She's very apologetic about it, which is very nice, obviously, but it's not her fault. So I told her, like, hey, I'll just average out what we usually pay you per box. She said that she didn't really know what's in them anyways. So I'm going to make it right by paying for it, and it sucks. But it's not her fault. So our suppliers shouldn't suffer because we're naive enough to leave our packages out, right? So I come in, I talk to Emily, tell her about it. I talk to Melinda about it.
Yeah, and I'm driving to work thinking like people are crap. Like, this world sucks. You know,
it is really disappointing because it's a real thing. Like, people get stuff yanked from their front porch every single day, and it's so it's so inconsiderate. It's obviously thieves are relatively inconsiderate most of the time, anyways. But
still, it's just stinks. It's that sinking feeling of like. Knowing that another human just like gave you no thought or did, which is, like I said, worse.
Yeah.
And knew that you were gonna feel like crap about it.
Yeah, and who knows, right? Like, if that's something of extreme value or something that's personal, maybe. I'm sure it happens all the time where somebody finds grandpa's old collection, sends it across the country, and some idiot yanks it off the front porch, throws it in the trash, and obviously it's worthless to them, but it holds so much meaning to someone else.
Yeah. I kept thinking, like, and they're gonna open this and be like, oh, it's a bunch of clothes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was just like, and they're not even gonna bring it back, you know? These clothes that they're not gonna see value in because they thought they got like a stereo system or something, are just gonna be like strewn everywhere,
Yeah. Disappointing. And then the other thought I had was, like, how hilarious is it? They're gonna suffer like carrying 150 pounds of boxes, get them home all excited, and then open them and be like, what are these silver jeans? Like, these aren't my size. Like, could you imagine someone opening up used clothing and thinking they hit the jackpot?
Right.
Like jokes on them. But so what actually happened?
Yeah, I get a call. So I get a call and literally.
Well, God, see, good idea. Don't sit on that.
Yeah. Literally pulling into park at the office with my people are crap thoughts, and Adine's calling, and I'm like, hello? And he's like, so USPS just called me. They have 3 giant boxes from UPS sitting at their office because some young, overzealous, very strong mailman thought they were outgoing. What a roller coaster of emotions. I mean,
what a way to start a day.
That's great, right? That's great. And it's, I don't even know. Like, I just feel like emotionally spent already this morning. But I told Adine, so before I came into the office, I did order some security, like, ring light cameras for the front and back of our house, which we had been meaning to do anyways, like, specifically for this purpose, and we didn't. And I said, wow, like, how fortunate are we that we got to learn this lesson without the actual consequences? Like, that never happens. Usually you have to just just eat it, you know, and be screwed over to learn that lesson. So I don't know how I feel. Do I feel lucky? I don't know how I feel right now. I gotta get to work. I gotta do something normal. Business-wise though, let's say that had happened. Let's say somebody actually came on our porch and left with our product. So what we had been planning on doing and what we would have done and would still do if it ever does happen again is we would pay out the suppliers. So let's say that was worth about like $600 worth of merchandise or whatever. Just throwing that number out there. We'd pay the supplier, but then we would also count it and write it off as a business loss. And we would recoup about 20 to 30% of that. So it wouldn't be a 100% loss at that point. Obviously, we would be realizing like the actual profits of the clothing's worth. So that is the biggest loss right there. But we wouldn't be out as much as had they, you know, if we didn't do that. So just keep that in mind. It sucks, you know, but I've been listening to a lot of like entrepreneur podcasts and stuff like that. And a lot of these things just happen. Like a lot of really crappy things happen when you are starting a business or when you're running a business, even when you get the business up and going. So you just eat it and you look at how you can minimize the damage to your business, to your bottom line. So just keep that in mind. It'll feel like crap if something like happens, but remember that you are running a business, so you have to make decisions based on the business, not your emotions. Getting back to work though, let's go over some sales. We had a really great Poshmark sale that I will show you, along with a couple others that we haven't packed up yet. Hey.
So Emily's here with us today, and she just discovered something.
Yeah, so I'm turning these over. She's like, "Oh, is there something wrong with these?" I was like, "I don't think so. They smell kind of nice, even. They look all right. They look pretty good." Do you notice anything wrong with them? Adine?
I have a thought.
Okay.
They look like to be the same left foot.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm guessing somebody somewhere has two right foots. They were probably like in the bins or whatever, and like, you know, somebody grabbed a pair and somebody grabbed another pair, probably not realizing. I mean, in my head, that's what makes sense, why you would end up with two lefts, right? So
if you're out there and you got the two rights, let us know. And
yeah, let's connect. Let's hook up.
For sure.
Make a match.
Yeah. All right, let's pull some orders.
We had a very solid sales day yesterday. I'm gonna go through some highlights and also just kind of show you, you'll kind of figure out there's sort of a theme. I'm not gonna go through all the sales, but I will give you sort of a picture of what sales are looking like right now. So as you can see, these are all very sandal-y shoes. These aren't quite sandals, but they're like water, hiking, outdoor shoes. So summer type shoes. These first ones are Mephisto. We got those with that big shoe buy. We took an offer. We went back and forth, ended up letting them go for $22 on Poshmark. Next one, same shoe buy. These are Clark's, and took an offer of $20 on those. The J41s, which is a Jeep shoe, these sold on eBay for $30. We've had them for a little bit, so they were still under the free shipping model. These are interesting if you ever come across these. They've sold pretty decently for us, but the size is underneath the footbed. So keep that in mind if you see them, because it took me I found out by accident because my daughter was, you know, playing with the shoes and took them on. I'm like, oh, there's the size. So keep that in mind if you ever see them. These awesome cowboy boots. I picked these up in the summer at this like vintage leather garage sale at a neighbor's house. I think I paid, if I'm remembering correctly, $150 for a whole bunch of stuff, and we've sold most of it. These are sitting a little bit longer. They're a little bit higher priced, and obviously they're very specific, so doesn't surprise me at all. This is lizard skin, which I didn't know when I listed them, but I got a number of messages telling me that, so I was able to change the listing. Sometimes it is helpful when people find your listing and correct you. It's not always a bad thing. So I changed it, and we took an offer of $148 on Poshmark. Randomly, this shirt also sold on Poshmark the same day for $22. This I got at the same leather Western, whatever, yard sale, vintage pop-up that they were doing. It's got little saddles on there, so just super random coincidence. We also have some summer dresses going out the door, which makes sense. I'm even on the hunt for some dresses because I have a couple weddings coming up this summer. So definitely the season for that. This is Bome. I had never seen that brand before. This kind of goes back to we're getting all of these different brands and different styles from people who are sourcing across the country. So that's one that I learned. This was only up for sale for a few days and they paid $27, and you can see they're going to cover shipping as well. Another summer dress, this Flying Tomato, they paid $22 plus they're going to cover shipping. I picked this up when we were in Ohio, I believe, in January. So sat for a couple months. Summer, warmer weather, makes sense that it's selling now. We did, however, sell a couple of wintry, warmer gear as well. So things can sell all year. You're just going to have, as you can tell from what I just showed you, an influx of one season over another. This is an Anchorage Expedition. It's like a shacket, the heavyweight flannel, kind of a shirt, kind of a jacket. $25, they pay shipping. We did do $8.75 because these thicker ones can weigh over a pound. And that's a brand that I looked up when I was in Goodwill. I remember it specifically because I was like, oh, it's got like Alaska in the name. So that's probably good. People will pay for that. And sure enough, coming into summer and people bought a flannel. And then last sale I'll go over is this wool Pea Coat. Sold for $45 more in shipping because it's bigger, bulkier. So we charged $15 for shipping on that one. They did have a lot of questions on it, which normally we wouldn't answer because it's just not efficient, but we did. This time, it's, our inventory is in flux. It's not concrete on shelves right now. So we answered the questions and they did end up buying it from us. So to reiterate, if it's spring and summer, you're going to be selling more spring or summer clothes. So it's always a good idea to have different seasons in your closet as the seasons change. But again, a reminder, everything sells all year. I'm going to go ahead and get these packed up and then we'll see how the shoe inventory is going.
So we are starting with our new inventory system for shoes, and Emily has just finished photographing this batch. We decided to stay with the top two rows being like the bulkier shoes, and we figured on average on the top we can fit about 10 pair. So what she's done is clip each one with a number, so that's 03, so it's going to be A1, O1, O2, O3. And then, like I said earlier, we're gonna pinch these two together so that'll be aisle A and then aisle B on this side. So now as we're selecting them, we should be able to walk up to them and they're like, oh, okay, they're in aisle A. This is number 10. We take the clip off, reuse it. This idea came from dealing with Dalton, so thank you, Dalton. I'll link his YouTube channel information below so you can check him out. I'm sure others have done very similar things. I think it's going to work the best with our system. So what Emily and I did is we cleared the first few rows and dispersed them back. And then every day when we have extra time, as the inventory control manager, I have to assume my position, we're going to start with the old inventory and start re-skewing inventory control, double checking each listings that we do so. And then within probably the month or so, we should be all set. We did have to twist them around just a little bit to make them fit, but 10 pair are up here now. If you see anything you like, you can always obviously check out our Poshmark closet. They're all listed. Like I was saying, we should be, within the next month or so, 100% with the new inventory system for shoes. That's going to differ than the inventory system for clothing behind us. And I think that's okay for now at this stage to have two similar but not the same inventory systems. I think it's very trainable to train someone like, hey, here's aisle A to here's A, B, C, D, this is the row, this is what you find. Once you unclip it, we're going to reuse it. And then when the next batch comes, we just use those, and we know that A1, B1, C1, D1, E1, etc. is going to be used for boots and larger, bulkier, mid-top, high-top type shoes and boots. And then the rest of them are going to be for your common sneakers, flip-flops, etc. Anyways, just wanted to share that with you guys. I hope that is helpful. We asked a lot of people and we studied a lot of people's inventory systems when it comes to shoes, and we feel like this is the best one or the best fit for us to be as effective and efficient. It's definitely going to be 1,000 times better than like, oh, these purple Vans sold, let's look through every single aisle for a pair of purple Vans. So at least that's an improvement. A quick inventory control update from the inventory control manager, of course. Who else? here's where we're at. One thing I did, I don't know if Mona can reach up there with the camera. I'm sure she can. I just put a simple label so that everyone knows that that's going to be A1 through A10.
Like there.
Yeah. And then right next to it, when we sandwich the next one, it's going to be B1, B10, bottom and top. The top row is all done, so we're going to aim for 10 pair per like long row. So that'll be again booties, large boots, snow boots, etc. And then
You said booties.
I did say booties. And then on the bottom, or the rest of them, we're going to rubber band each pair like this so that they stay together. And then Emily has put the SKU number right on the rubber band, which is very smart. So that should be a lot easier. So this is brand new inventory. So as we're listing brand new stuff, we're going to conform to this new system. And then, as I previously mentioned, the rest of it, when we have time, we're going to slowly re-inventory them. And hopefully, by the end of next week, I hope, if not sooner, we just knock that out and be done with it. Get the inventory control done. Again, check all those old listings. Make sure that we transfer all the old listings that have free shipping on our old business model. Get the shipping priced in, change the price, check the photos, the titles, etc. Just to give those items a boost and to make sure that they sell. I think this will work really well going forward. I hope it helps you out. Again, thank you for Dalton and everyone else really that helped us out at this point. We do appreciate it, and we learn a lot from others on YouTube and Instagram. I'm gonna go exchange that refrigerator. Tanner has been kind enough to refund us or exchange it for a new unit. It worked for a couple of days and then it stopped. It's not his fault, obviously. It's just a faulty fridge. Then I got to run over to the post office and grab our lost cargo, the stuff that we thought that was stolen. I'll bring that back and then we'll go from there.
We had a question in one of our previous YouTube videos from a longtime watcher. The YouTube name is DL. First of all, thank you so much for watching. If possible, I'd like you guys to put out a YouTube vid on offers to likers from eBay and Posh, telling us what you guys offer on certain items and your cutoff price you will not go below, and at what point in general you guys decline offers. Thank you. We don't have an exact science on this one. I know there are certain people who do. They set out offers on specific days for specific amounts and have everything down in exact science. Ours isn't quite that exact. We do send offers on both platforms. Since we have moved to they pay a flat shipping rate, it's a lot easier for us to gauge what our net profit is going to be. Generally speaking, we're going to send offers that still allow us to make our $10 net profit minimum at a minimum. And let's break it down a little bit more than that, a little bit more detailed. $25 and $30 items that are listed with ship will send out $5 off. If it's about 35 to 40, it's $8 off. 40 to, let's say 75, we're sending more like $10 off on an item. 75 and up depends on the item in demand, but we'll send up to $15 to $20 off that item. On Posh, we send out bulk offers, and we'll do 20% with the shipping discount, which you have to do on Posh, of $5.95. On eBay, we try to send those out every morning. On Posh, a little bit more rarely, every couple days, at least once a week on Posh. As far as, what's our lowest will go, that's really going to depend on the item, because how long we've had it plays a really big factor. If we get a low ball offer, but we've had an item for a year, we just want to move it at that point. Like we don't even care. Like a profit at that point. So take it and move on. Get it out of the store. If we've recently had it, we aren't gonna dip below that $10 net profit mark. So I can't give you an exact science on that. As far as declining offers, if they're really low, like below 50% offer or like 50% or lower, we tend to decline those, but we try to just always come back with a counter offer, because sometimes people are just fishing to see what your lowest is. So they'll go real low. That doesn't mean you have to respond with real low or that they'll decline another offer. So we try to just come back with where our normal offers will be and see what they come back with. If it's again really low again, then we might decline because we can see like, okay, there's really going to be no compromise there. But when we send our lowest and they counter on that, we'll send back our lowest again. And that just says like, this is our lowest. We're not going to budge on that. And they can make the decision from there whether to accept or decline at that point. I hope that helps answer your question. Sorry I couldn't tell you, exactly ping, pang, bing, bong, bungly boo, as my child would say, exact steps, but hopefully that helps you a little bit. I'm going to be going to the pricing room, the first P in our 3P process, and I'll show you guys some of the stuff that I pull out. I'll pick some highlights again like I did last time. I've just opened 2 boxes, and it's this rack right here, all the way to the top. There's a little bit more to go. This rack here is full of items where I'm either not familiar with the brand or I'm not familiar with the style of that brand and how well it sells. So we don't have time to go through those today. I'm gonna go through the rack that I was able to get through, and I'm gonna flip through. If you have been thinking about maybe I wanna be a buyer for us, this will kind of give you an idea of some of the things that we really like to get. Unfortunately, the pants up here, we've ran out of pant hooks, so you're not gonna really see those, but for some perspective, there's, you can see maybe that Lululemon tag up there. There's Buffalo Baton jeans. There's Athleta. Well, I don't really know off the top of my head exactly what's up there, but some good stuff. So let's go through the tops anyway. So Coffee Stone is an Anthropologie brand. There's a good amount of Madewell in here. Some solid J. Crew pieces. This is a Kate Spade. We always have quick sales with Kate Spade. Good North Face, like heavier fleece there. Untuck solid men's brand. We always get some good polos. Ralph Lauren's. This is an Under Armour. J. Crew. Marmo. This is a really nice style. When you look up their vests, it's these puffers that do the best in terms of their vests. Madewell. Under Armour. Athleta. We got some good Athleta pieces. This is a new with tags spider jacket, which is just great. That's cool. This is a Calvin Klein. Nice jacket there. This is a made in USA, like Sherpa lined corduroy vest. This is probably one of my favorites. I just think it's really unique and very cool. This is an LL Bean, very soft in here. These like staple warm pieces sell well for us. They generally get listed and sell in a few days. This is a warmer weather one, so it might take a little bit longer. This is like a Nike dress. Classic LL Bean. This is like their heavier, softer, kind of flannel-y type of thing. Some pearl snap Wrangler. Oh, this is a Pendleton. It's not the made in USA, but it does have this like thick lining. So this is definitely a good piece. Regardless of brand, these types of pieces sell well anyway. So the fact that it is a Pendleton, even the made in China, very solid. Theory, always a good solid brand to pick up. I think we've sold all of our Theory that we've listed, men's or women's. Solid Woolrich, again, made in China, Woolrich, but it is a good color and nice piece flannel. So I hope you guys are finding this helpful at least. Like, this would be like if we were going through a rack at a store and it had nothing on it but things we were gonna buy. This is what, like, I hugged this when I pulled this out just because these like Irish knit sweaters are just one of my favorite things. Even before I was a reseller, I just love them. They're so cozy and soft. Made in Ireland wool pieces. They always command a very solid price. So this, I think out of the whole box, this is my favorite piece for sure. And I knew this was Athleta as soon as I touched it in the box. I am such a fool for Athleta. Madewell. This is a Lululemon. This is a really nice one because it's not like their typical leggings or whatever. When I find more unique Lululemon pieces, I'm definitely going to pay up for them simply because they sell faster than, the leggings, which are, everybody has them. This is a wool cashmere blend, Vineyard Vines men's sweater. A little bit of pilling, but that'll be easy to fix up. J. Crew. I like this brand. It's Massimo Dutti. The reason I like it is because Kate Middleton has worn this brand before, and she's like my all-time favorite style icon. I love her. Another Marmo fleece. Marmot. Classic polo. These are some Athleta tanks. This is a cashmere LL Bean. Betsy Johnson dress. I like Betsy Johnson. She was like one of the first designers I ever really liked as like a young Melinda, because she was funky, you know, she was like different, and I liked that. She was like the rock and roll designer. Pilker on the Letterpress used to be like a very popular Anthropologie brand. This style is really, it's always been kind of a staple, kind of a classic style. So it's still a good piece, but definitely look up your jeans if you see them in that brand. Summery J. Crew, very nautical. This is yep, there it is, ModCloth piece. This style of LL Beans, we had a couple of these that sold really fast last time we listed them, so very pleased to see that when I pulled it out. This is an Athleta bra, 100% cashmere. This is like a wool blend. Yep. That's a Madewell. And this is a J. Crew, very solid. This style J. Crew we have sold before, and it sells well. So if you see this J. Crew style piece, sort of like a military, it's good. It's usually 100% good. So yeah, very solid box. Hopefully that's helpful to see some of the things that we would pick up in the store, and also things that we would pay for. Let's go check on Adine. Let's see what he's doing. Hey.
Hey. Last
How's it
update
going?
for today. Hey, it's going well, thank you. Just recycled some cardboard at our free recycling.
Your environmental impact manager thanks you for that. Thanks for doing your part.
As the inventory control manager, at some point this will get boring to us too, but until then you have to suffer through our bad comedy. I just wanted to do one more update on this. So I did standardize these two so they're the same height and level. Emily did a great job. She got 60 pairs of shoes photographed and inventoried. So if you want to come over here, camera lady, also known as operations manager, also just kidding. So these are all the ones that are photographed today, the top and bottom. So we're saving the top and second row of each one of these for taller, mid, high-rise boots, etc.
Booties.
Booties. And then the rest are going to be, regular size shoes. So the idea is, right, something sells, I look where it's at, I train someone or myself, like, hey, if I'm looking for shoes that are in A1 through A10 are right here, I'm looking for A202, hey, look at that, A202, beautiful set of vintage Doc Martens. Fantastic. So super, super, super easy to do. It's gonna be a little bit of time to get everything up to date, but while Melinda has been pricing out that box, I've basically just been rubber banding stuff together, and I put these these four together. We'll zip tie them as soon as our zip ties come in. That should be plenty, and then we'll just keep going down the line. I don't know, a couple weeks, 10 days, and we should be all done with this project and then on to the next. On behalf of Melinda and I, thank you very much for watching. Please do consider subscribing if you haven't already. If you enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up. Look at that. That's real videography right there. Coordination. Hit the thumbs up on your way out. We appreciate you guys as always. If you thought the video title and thumbnail were a little clickbaity, good. We got you to watch. See ya. Inventory recovered.